Well, good morning,
Good
Lucy.
morning.
How's it going?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing good. So here we are, what, December 5th?
Yes,
God, it's already,
already.
man, so that's like 3 months almost to the day when
Yeah,
we started working out. Since I started working out,
yes.
making a big change.
Went
So
by fast.
it
Did it
did.
feel like it's gone by fast?
Yeah, it's almost like a blur.
Yeah.
Although when I was going through it, the punishment was like, oh, that's as long. But then, you start reaching different levels and different, what do you call it, endurances and, moving it along the different phases of building my body and stretching out and all that kind of stuff. It's almost kind of amazing. Like even this morning, I was, you're supposed to take those, you told me to take the self-image poses.
Yes.
And
And you've been
so,
taking him?
yeah,
That's
I
great.
took some naked pictures with like strategically placed candlesticks and,
A lot of
little
people don't
smiley
like taking
faces.
those pictures.
Well, I took them for me, right?
You
It's like
have
my
to.
little personal
Yep.
collection.
You have to.
Sounds weird, but yeah, just so that I think at the end of this, I might feel more comfortable sharing that. And I think, everybody who looks at their body, the whole thing about self-image is, a personal thing.
Yep.
And some people feel very comfortable, sharing those right away. I guess right now I want to hit, another major milestone, but
Yes.
I just want to
Thank you
feel
for
better
correcting
about
yourself.
it. Yeah.
I didn't even have to
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah, speaking of milestones, yesterday, you had been working with me on my legs because mobility was one of the big things. And you were smiling as we were doing these like hard exercises Monday. And then yesterday, I like literally stood up from the chair without having to grab or in pain or anything like that.
Let's talk about that progression.
Okay, we'll talk
So-
about the phases and the progressions.
Yeah,
That'll be good.
so like when we're thinking about phases or like levels, that's different for everybody. So based off of where you're starting and what you also came from, your past experience is going to determine kind of what level you're at and how you're going to move forward. So for instance, when we first started, our basic movement of a squat, we did, one set, like maybe 5 reps, and really just kind of trying to feel that movement because that movement was foreign in your body.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
even with setting you up and kind of doing more of a sit to stand where you can facilitate and use your upper body to stand up, that one set was enough. And
Yeah.
like I remember your feedback after that was like you were feeling your knee, you were feeling some things wake up that
Hadn't woke up.
yeah.
Didn't know existed.
Yeah, so in the meantime, we decided to pivot a little bit and got you on the leg press, got you on a couple of things that were a little bit more stable, but we're able to get you in those same kinds of places, and your body felt like it was okay. So a lot of times, like when you talk about levels and respecting where we're at, if I would have just had you come in and be like, okay, now start squatting, your body wouldn't even trust you to do that. Your body would fight you to do that
Right.
because it's like we're not ready for that yet. Like, so you had getting these things to work together. So like that relationship with your body and communicating with your body.
Yeah.
So do it. Fast forward to Monday during our workout. A part of his circuit. So a circuit being a group of exercises. So he had about 4 exercises that we were doing back to back to back for a certain number of rounds. Squat was in that circuit, and we did 4 rounds of that circuit, and they were like the best. It was the best that I've seen this movement since we've started working out together. And he was working and maybe potentially uncomfortable, which is fine with me. I'm fine with making people uncomfortable, but I was smiling because I knew what was going to come after that and how this was going to translate into his real life and how major a movement like squatting, now being able to feel that in your body and maybe even just trusting that your body can do a movement like that,
Right.
how that was going to translate in your real life. And within a couple of days,
Yep, it hit. It was popping because I was admiring my quad. Like, oh man, I got a little muscle down there. But from my side of the story is I'm following you. Like you have trust the process, and if you just stick with it, the perseverance and all that. Well, I honestly it was a lot of pain. I mean, at first it wasn't pain; it was discomfort.
definitely.
And so, like when your body isn't used to that, the average person, if they would have went and just did that a couple of times, they might have given up if
Yep.
they didn't understand what's over the mountaintop, right, or
100%.
what's over the
Or this
horizon.
hurt me, this
that
isn't for
hurdle.
me.
Yeah, and or maybe they might not work on their legs. Well, for me, it was quite humbling because I think I had made a sideways comment about the sled, and then I had forgotten how important legs were and being able to push with your legs. And when I couldn't push like I used to with my legs, because I was always like to me in my mind, I've always been like the Herschel Walker of legs, right? The big kick.
Like
I was always
your
proud of
thing.
like
Yep.
legs had always been my thing, and when they're not, you're like, oh, it's pretty humbling. But
Yeah, so the sled was even between those sit-and stands.
yeah,
So like just a lot of really functional movements. So
Yeah.
even like the TRX,
oh yeah,
throwing
that-
your body weight on TRX, like your legs are still engaged, your core is still engaged, your body's still holding you in that position.
Yeah.
So like the sled, when you made that comment about the sled being potentially easy, I think the sled or the prowler, whichever you call it, it
Okay.
can be difficult for anyone. We can
yeah,
make it.
and the
can make it-
ropes. I'm telling you, those ropes
and
are
yeah,
crazy,
and the ropes.
man.
So
That's-
these are all full body exercises where you're still using all of these things. It just might not be as concentrated.
and the medicine ball too. I mean, that's what actually gets my heart really truly pumping.
Yep.
I don't know what it is, but you know, if you don't go to that limit, then I think that's where I failed those 100 times before, is that I have not really gone through the whole to the limit of where you need to get the heart rate up at the right limits and all that stuff, and then being able to have somebody to help coach you, because even one adjustment you made on that sit to stand, and the sit to stand is basically sitting on a bench holding onto a bar, and then you kind of pull yourself up with your legs theoretically. But you put some weights under my heels, so like my feet weren't flat on the ground like that, they were like
Take some
up like
stress
that.
off of your knee.
Yeah, and that's when like the first rep was really, I mean, honestly, it was very not hard, but it was like uncomfortable. And then it's almost like as we went through the circuit, they got better and better, and they got easier at the end because of, you know, the muscles
Yep.
started loosening up. But
Yep.
being limber and being able to go and push yourself to the limits, having a personal trainer, I think is really very helpful.
Well, in levels, like your first level, your first month cardio for you was getting on the
Oh.
bike, and that was enough. That got your heart rate up. That had you feeling like you were working.
Yeah.
And now something like a medicine ball under time and slamming like with that resistance, that's cardio to you
Okay.
now. So like if you're thinking about levels, it's just like anything with fitness too. We want to feel like we're reaching new things, like we're doing new things. You're on the ski erg. That's
Yeah,
a
I
completely
like
new
this.
kind of cardio. So
Yep,
yeah, and
yep.
we have more things to pull out of the box.
Interesting. So what level am I at? I mean, how am I like level 25 yet, or am I just like at level 2?
I think so. This is the thing. So as Michael's been talking about it, he's been saying like level 1.
You know, I'm an
level 2,
achiever,
level
man.
3.
I gotta be like,
He wants to really clearly
Where's the
define
roadmap?
what these levels are. But I don't think it's any one level, because even like along this way, if you went and got that notebook where you were writing down all of the different wins that you've had or all of the different accomplishments that you've had, like you've surpassed a level 2.
yeah,
So I mean, so really, it's just like the more you step into it, the more potential that you see is there. So I think
Okay.
the further that you achieve, the more room you see that there is to grow.
yeah. And I'm sorry being so mellow. I just, you know, I'm thinking about all the wins and everything, and it's kind of like you feel good about it, you know. And so, try not to
We're
gloat.
just talking
trying
about
not
the
to,
stuff in the gym. We're
Yeah.
not even talking about the stuff that matters.
Right.
Lifestyle.
the lifestyle.
All the
yeah.
hours outside of this
Yep.
and with me.
climbing stairs and doing all that kind of good stuff. So
So
All right.
post holidays,
I know. How was your holiday? Did
it
you?
was so great.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. For me, that was, we had led up to it with a couple of videos talking about holidays and eating, and you know, I think I was talking about my wife and the sweet potato pie and all this stuff. But I started into the holidays on a started to hit like I was a half a pound away from hitting 50. I think I was trying not to publicize that, but I was like so close, and I was like just at the point where I was like, I'm just starving for a day. I'm gonna get that number. And then we had a chat about, you know, going out of town and being able to just maintain, and it's okay.
Absolutely.
You know, so not that over the holiday that I ate so much that I gained weight. I did eat different things, and I think
Of course, as you should.
one of the things that I noticed about foods that I've been eating is my Thanksgiving food was all soft, right, if you will. So not necessarily a lot of these things, but starches and cooked vegetables and different things like that, cabbages. But and I had some really good menu options, but still I noticed my diet over, you know, 2 or 3 days was like very soft, versus like my regimen before was, you know, steel cut oats and more hearty solids. And you know, I've just stayed at that plateau now, so I haven't hit 50, but you know, I've actually switched my mentality to quit fixating so much on the number and like going how I feel. Like, you know, like for instance, this HWMR Houston, what's up? You know, I got my rocking my HWMR shirt on that I could not fit in August.
Yes.
So I was going to bring it to the BDPA conference, one of my motivators, right? The BDPA conference. And I was going to do a shout out then, but I can just say, hey, I can do it now.
Yes, it's fine.
But yeah, so Houston, thank you for believing in me too. I know you're a cool dude, and you're doing so much in the community. But back to the point at hand, I guess, holidays. How do you get back on track? What advice can you give for people like me that fall off the wagon, so to speak? And
yeah, and I think that's important to talk about, because I don't know if anybody ever necessarily falls off the wagon. Like, you're the one pushing the wagon, right? So you're not on the wagon, like, you're determining this, the rate at which you're moving forward. So for holidays, I really try to not tell people to stick to their diet. I really think that nutrition and, being in that family and being in community and enjoying a meal together is important. What I do hope is that you would take some of the things that we've talked about, or some of the things that you've learned along the way, and apply as necessary. So like when putting together a plate, like, okay, I know that I should enjoy myself, but if I can consider like all of these things that are carbs, and I can kind of like, okay, maybe I can get more of these things to have less of this, and to really be able to navigate that, but feel empowered and not feel like you can't have, or like you have to explain to anybody. Everybody knows that you're on a journey, so like you don't have to go show up there and like not eat anything to like be true to that. That just puts like extra pressure on you. So I think the important things are really remembering, again, like consistency. It's like, well, did you get enough water that day? Was this the only meal that you ate that day? Like, did you plan your movement? I know for me, like, movement is very, very important, because that's just part of what helps me feel balanced. So during the holiday times, I'll make sure and make it a priority that I know, like, when I'm getting that time in. So whether it's an actual resistance training, like a hard workout, or if it's just like to go sit in the sauna or go walk. So like this weekend, my kids were sick, so I always do a pretty big workout before we do a big meal like that, just because I feel better that way. But there was a couple of days where I couldn't go to the gym, so going for a walk and just getting that out was my release. But I still had to make time and prioritize that. Even though your schedule changes, the people that you're around change. You might be around more family, but like really finding ways to like work that in is important.
Right, and I think self-love. One of the things with illness, I had been tracking against, this pre-cold. I always call it pre-cold, just it's denial, accepting that you don't have a cold or anything, But, there's kind of a couple rules that I have is like, don't come and infect other people. Managing staff for many years was like, I had really cool people that worked for me. And when they were sick, they would get other people sick, and we were just like critical path. We were a very lean operating team. And one thing I've noticed, and I'm a pattern guy, right, a systems IT guy, so I've watched all the people that are always going hard and everything, but they don't have a release mechanism to get rest, right? And so like I got a really good friend, black CEO of a tech company, and he got sick, and it's like you can't even be a leader at the top if you're sick, right? And so he missed, some opportunities, but I also wanted to put myself in that situation and say, what am I actually doing? How can I control my schedule to do these things? And so even though that, my goal is being 3 times, the dedication is 3 times a week in the gym and doing something, but every day I'm doing something. So I'm generally in the gym 6 days a week, 5 or 6 days a week. Like even yesterday I came in, I did 35 minutes on the bike, but then even just riding the bike to sweat, I was able to move up the different levels and actually push through it. That's maybe why my legs felt like elephant trunks when I left, but I think being sick, you have to really make sure that you get rest. And the self-care, self-love, because just as you have to give your body time to recover. And that's always something that you've stressed from the beginning, was if you have a hard workout, this is all foreign to me, right? Working out. And I worked out different ways, but it was like getting that downtime in between. And now that I'm battling something that if I continue to just go hard and keep the same schedule, same pressure, I know I would be knocked out.
Well, in training and even when you're looking at being sick, and I think it's like important to notice, like if you're trying to be fit, you should also try to be well. So like a lot of people are in that go hard, go home. So it's like, okay, even though maybe I'm not feeling the best, I'm a fit person. So like I have to go get this workout in. That's not what's going to keep you well. So like technical terms would be like a super compensation, or I'll just call it recovery cycle. So like if this is your baseline and this is always our baseline, and our job is to kind of gradually be above that baseline. If you come in and train and we go below the baseline, because training is damage, exercise, working out is, we're breaking things down. So it's in your recovery that you're going to grow, that you're going to build muscle, that you're going to lose fat. So if I'm going to train and dip below this baseline, if I don't give myself the time to recover and come back up above this baseline, we just kind of start chipping away at the iceberg in a negative trend. What we want to do is we want to kind of damage, recover, and get better and better and go above your baseline. If you're sick, there's no way that this can happen. So, but if you're sick and you just stop working out and you stop doing everything, then that's kind of like that fall off the wagon thing where you feel like all is lost. And and it was a holiday, and I got sick, so now I was eating like crap, and I didn't move. So it's done. I'm back at level 0.
Right.
But
right.
it's just not the way it works. So like if you're equipped, just like you're equipped with knowledge of nutrition, how to navigate there, you can also be equipped with different ways of recovering and different ways to have that yin energy. So like you might not be throwing weights around, but maybe you can go sit in the sauna, or like you said, come in and just do it light, easy on the bike. And that really, again, comes back to the relationship with your body and your relationship with fitness and your goals. So just like you said, like, it's not necessarily about the weight, like, it's this long-term change that you made. And, like, when you have that relationship with your body or the different tools in your toolbox, you can say, okay, I can yield. I don't have to push harder. And sometimes it's that yielding that gives way for you to get past that.
Yeah.
It's just like...
It's almost, I mean, to a new person like me, it's like you want to yield, but you want to go hard.
But the message is go hard. So like you almost feel guilty to yield.
Right.
Because everything around you tells you have to diet more and you have to exercise more.
Right. And plus, I'm walking around Los Campeones. You got all these dudes.
So you're trying to be a part of a tribe. Everybody's
they're all
doing
like,
their thing.
They got 12 packs. And, I got 1 pack. I got a pack that starts here. Although it's a 4. It's starting to, I can see my little 4-pack coming in. I got 2-pack now. 2-pack. But anyway, it's coming along. But yeah, no, I don't know why I throw in these dumb jokes. But
no, I
anyway, so we got anything else that we want to cover? Any parting
leveling
words?
up.
Leveling up. Let's go.
And still so much. But I think light bulb.
No, keep going.
It's the fact that you have traveled multiple times, the fact that we've had the holidays, the fact that you have gotten sick. It's like really a testament to how much work you're really doing outside of these walls.
Yeah, thank you.
It really is, because to make that kind of progress, like while still living your life and while still handling the responsibilities, I know you had a couple of stressful weeks there, like to be able to still move forward and maintain those responsibilities, those hats that we don't get to take off.
Yeah.
Like you have to make this a priority for it to be important, or for it to be something. I mean, you have to go out of your way every single day to make this a part of your daily life.
Yeah, you have to. I totally agree, and I think that's one of the things that keeps me going. Is just, why did I start the journey?
Yep.
And where do I want to end up? And like I said, I still don't know where I'm going to end up at, but I know why I started it, and so that's still a burning fire.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, thank you,
What
Coach
was your light
Lucy.
bulb that went off?
I forgot to turn on the mic. On that camera, not that camera. You can look at that camera, but anyway, this will still be in the reel. Let me tell you. So, all right. Well, have a good day. What's your tag?
This is the beginning. Be great.
Be great.
Hashtag
all right.
be great.
Let's go. Food is fuel.
Yes.
Take care. Have a good day. Literally, I think this audio.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure I've been looking
damn.
at this one the whole time.